From Lalate headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons Lalate.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons Lalate with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. Today, we'll be going over that monthly stimulus check the Democrats still want you to have. We'll be going over in the second part of this video, the two-path process of the Democrats' stimulus checks in the recon, and the bipartisan, the roads and bridges. And then the third part of this video, we go over the breaking news as the president, Nancy, and Chuck, and even Mitch speak out. And out of all the breaking details you're going to hear for the first time on this Afternoons LA broadcast. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which raises up your benefits a lifetime and applies a new benchmark, and also gives you another stimulus check. OMG. Then we got to the big money across the board. Thousands of dollars that viewers are going to get. And then, at the end of this video, a surprise breaking news announcement. A lot of surprises across the board in this big extended broadcast. It's afternoon, and it's LA. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It's a beautiful Monday afternoon. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It cooled down. It was warmer here earlier today, but finally cooled down. How's the weather where you are? And tell me where you're tuning in from. Jump in the live chat and tell me what you're doing. In this fourth stimulus check updated 2021 this Monday afternoon, we'll be going over the breaking details. The Democrats want you to have a stimulus check. We'll be going over how much. Then we'll be going over the path, the two-path process. And then in the third part of this video, we'll be going over the voting process and why the wranglings are very fascinating. Then we'll be cutting to fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime and also gives you another stimulus check. And then we cut to the big money across the board, thousands of dollars, and then a surprise announcement at the end of this video. This is Lalate, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel, live in the morning and taped in the afternoons. After this show is Evenings Lalate. Don't miss it. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Hit that subscribe button right now. Also, like this video. Every like helps in the algorithm rankings. It also delivers you a garnish of parsley. And consider becoming a member. The link's on the top of the chat in the pinned comment. Let's get into that monthly stimulus check for those Democrats. House, Senate, House. Let's go over all the details. They both provide a monthly stimulus check, but they're slightly different, and they're starting right now. The House bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal provides a stimulus check from July to December. So less checks with the senators than the House members. Let's look at the senators on the payouts. Well, the House payouts are $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000. The Senate proposal, unknown monthly, but word on the street is it's this. Wow, now that is deliciousness. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000 a person. $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400 a person. Now, if you're in the live chat just after 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate and tell me where you're tuning in from. But let's look at something. This something. No, not that something. This something. Pandemic plus 1 year. Well, that might get modified because the issue is legislators may contend the pandemic's over. If they do, that will reduce the Senate, the House bill to just 13 checks. No, 12 checks because there's 12 months in a year. Not 13 months, but it's $13,000. $13,000 from the House members on a monthly 12 months compared to this from the senators over 6 months. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat and vote right now. House or Senate, tell me where you're tuning in from. And how's the weather? All right, well, there you go. Who gets this fourth stimulus check? The Democrats want you to have one if you got a third stimulus check. So single individuals, $75,000 or less, Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check, double it. Family of four, Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check would be the same amount for everyone. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check is monthly. It's not a waivable check. So if you see the check trying on a sweater at the boutique and say, hey, check, that sweater doesn't really go with your outfit. But how are you? Not waving back. Rude check. It's not a root check. It's just not a waivable check. And even if it puts its arms in the sweater, it can't move them because it's a check. It doesn't have arms. So there you go. The more stimulus check is not a waivable check, but be coming in the month of July for the month of July, and not wearing a sweater because it's summer in the month of August for the month of August, and perhaps wearing some shorts. And they represent the final vote will be in the month of July by July 4th. And there you go. That is your first of your 3 parts of your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. But the breaking news is insanely fascinating. We have those breaking details in the second and your third part of your fourth stimulus check update coming up in just a second. But let's get a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus, and it raises your benefits up lifetime and applies a benchmark and gives you the stimulus check. Can we get better than that? $12 ice cream? Well, no, that's not included. But I got all the details of what's included in this incredible fifth stimulus later in this recording. Stay with me. But let's get some money. It's Money Monday, and that's what we do on this channel, not just on Monday, but every day of the week. I've been doing this since 2020. $25 million of EIDL loans. I got people when they needed money to save their businesses and their homes and their employees' homes during the pandemic. But then in fall of 2020, it was looking like now. People needed money, but second stimulus wasn't yet passing. So I got viewers $250,000 for rent and utilities, and that's what we're going to do right now. Get that pen and paper ready. We're going to go over rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and also homeowners utilities. Get that pen, paper, and if it's not a pen, then it could be a Crayola crown. So long as it's not model blue, it has to be purple. Let's get to the details. That rent is a lot of money. I've been saying it's $5,000, approximately 4 to 6 months of rent, but I've been wrong because one viewer got $10,000, another viewer got $12,000. I was really wrong. It's a lot more money, and congratulations to Nisi, who got rent, utilities, and SNAP. She killed it. And she thanked all the viewers of this channel for saying, hey, you all inspired me, and I've been learning from the videos. So where do you get that money? Each place has different eligibility. If you reach out to one and says no, reach out to the next. Here we go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, and your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID, utility assistance because of COVID. But you don't say words they don't know. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch's fan club. Excuse me. What fan club? Mitch does not have. Yeah, they don't know those words. I don't know those words. So don't say those words. And there you go. Congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this money as well. But the next pot of the money is wonderful. If you gotten any money from this channel, jump in the live chat right now, because every time that you say you got money, it inspires someone else. Even if you said it before, say it again. And congratulations to Lynn Glenn who got this next pot of money for her son, her mom, and herself. Gail got it. And we had a viewer last week get $5,000 the week before, $6,000 to $7,000. What is it? SNAP. SNAP. It is money for food. It comes from Department of Agriculture. Get it. Reach out to the Department of Agriculture. It pays a lot. How much does it pay? $16,000 for family of 4 in Hawaii. Wow. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden and one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. You're killing it. I'm killing it. The check in that sweater, not killing it. It doesn't go with you. You look flat like a check. So $16,000 for SNAP, $5,000 for rent. We are only 9 minutes into this video, and we got more money starting right now. And it's wonderful. It is the money coming back from your state. How much money is it? It's a lot. One viewer got $5,000 for this. What is it? It's the money coming back from your state due to computer error. Some states had overpaid unemployment assistance due to computer error. Well, the federal government has stepped in and said, nope, that was the citizens' money to keep. So has ordered the federal government to return it back to you. One viewer got $5,000 for it. Where are you getting it? Direct deposit to that account you have on file with your state. When are you receiving it? Reach out to your respective state and say, hey, state, where's that check due to computer error that I'm owed? And can you track it with a computer that actually works this time? And finally, the last pot of the money is wonderful. It's money coming back from IRS for that tax refund check. It's coming this month, and Margaret got it, Cod got it, and Michael got it. If you got it as well, jump in the live chat. Let's go over when, where, how much, and how you can track it starting right now. How much is it? It's a lot. If you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits, you paid $5,000 of total taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000. When are you getting it? This month. Where is it coming? By direct deposit, otherwise to the mail. Where can you track it? Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password. Go in there and do a transcript search. And 70% of the time, it works. And you'll be shocked what it reveals. It will reveal the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid, why $12 ice cream tastes worse than $1 ice cream. It will reveal, really, what is the name of that hairstyle in San Francisco? And finally, that tax return check you're getting. And boy, do we have more wonderful news than that. We do, as we go to the second part of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, starting right now. A week ago today, your stimulus checks were in the fourth stimulus recon. Where are they today? In the fourth stimulus recon. They haven't moved anywhere. So who's moved? Stuff that doesn't concern you. Moved out. Moved out. Sort of like that roommate you don't really remember. Moved out, gone. What happened? Over the last 3 weeks, Nancy, Chuck, and the president were meeting secretly. They were discussing new recipes for $12 ice cream. No, they were discussing the opportunities of potentially getting stuff removed from the recon. The recon was too big, they said. Too big. And we need to spin some stuff off. Sort of like a TV show where it's too many cast members need to do a spin-off show. New spin-off TV show. And what do they want to spin off? Roads and bridges. Go that way. Go that way, roads and bridges. And by Wednesday night, they made the decision. Roads and bridges, you go that way. We're staying here. We're staying with checks and climate and cares economy and EV vehicles and all that deliciousness. But roads and bridges, which we don't care about. I don't care about it. Do you care about it? I don't own a bridge. And don't sell me a bridge. I don't want one. Going that way. And that became the spinoff. And that became path number 2. Congratulations, you got 2 paths. Recon your stuff and stuff doesn't concern you. Bipartisan. So yeah, the bipartisan is stuff that doesn't concern you. Roads and bridges. Yeah, I don't care about roads. Not my road. It's your road. Roads and bridges somewhere else. Your stuff is still in there. For stimulus checks and climate. Why was this wonderful as of that Wednesday night meeting that became an announcement on Thursday? Why was this wonderful? Because first, you suddenly had an identity. Identity for fourth stimulus has been a big issue. How many times have you been in the water cooler and someone said, it's not in there. It's just about roads and bridges. It's not in there. It's only about roads and bridges. Bridges and roads and broads and bridges and broads and bridges. To which you said, can you just cut it out? Go to your own water cooler. Now you can finally say, no, you're down there. You are down the street. You and your roads and bridges have been pushed to another path. Get off of my path. And now, finally, your path is so clean. Your path is so wonderfully clean. You're in the fort of stimulus, the fort of recon. Fourth stimulus fort has in there your checks, progressive. The president's climate, progressive. The president's cares economy, progressive. Money for seniors, progressive. Money for medicine, progressive. Things that are progressive. Everything that Mitch McConnell hates. It's all in the recon. And it's very far away from Mitch McConnell. And there you go. Why is this even all more wonderful? Because not only do you have an identity, because everything is now protected. And guess what? Like every good TV show, there was a spoiler. And that spoiler came from Jalapal last Friday, well, the Friday before. Jalapal said in a statement with Brian Schatz, Democrat progressive out of Hawaii, that they were protecting the progressive policies of the president and the progressive policies of the progressives in the fourth stimulus. To which we said, protecting? Why are you protecting it? Now we knew why. Because they're in the fourth stimulus recon. And that they were protecting it away from the bipartisan stuff that has now been spun away to roads and bridges, spinning in that spin-off. How did we get to this wonderful spot? We got to this wonderful spot by, of course, Jalapal. Jalapal had written Schumer a letter saying, call the vote, Chuck. Call the vote. That letter was co-signed by 12 House Democrats who said, Mr. President, when we do fourth stimulus recon, we're going to be putting monthly stimulus checks in that fourth stimulus package. Wow. Can we top that? We can. As 7 House Democrats who wrote the first stimulus, wrote stimulus checks, wrote your second stimulus checks, wrote your third stimulus recon, said that, Mr. President, we're currently writing the fourth stimulus recon. Oh, what are they doing? They say we're putting in the fourth stimulus recon monthly stimulus checks. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that? Yeah, they say they're putting stimulus checks in the fifth stimulus recon. Oh my goodness. These people, House Subcommittee, coming up later in this video, very important. They wrote your third stimulus recon stimulus checks, and they're writing your fourth stimulus recon checks. Yeah, they have nothing to do with roads and bridges. They do stimulus checks. And finally, can we top that? Yes, as the president 2 weekends ago went overseas and got an international agreement signed. That is the basis that anchors fourth stimulus recon to the finish line for taxes. Remember, taxes is used to pay for recon. Taxes have nothing to do with bipartisanship. You say taxes to Mitch McConnell, and suddenly he starts singing off key. He doesn't like to hear that word. So what did the president do? He went overseas. Well, but first he had said, the president, I'm going to pay for fourth stimulus recon by raising corporate taxes. But I'm worried about raising corporate taxes. Corporations may move overseas. So he reached out to those countries overseas with the lower corporate tax rates and said, your rates are too low. Can you raise them? And they said, yeah. So then after they raised them, he said, tentatively, can we bring them some of Jill's potpourri and Christmas and have them sign on the dotted line, make this official? To one of his staffers said, Mr. President, you can bring potpourri in June. What are you waiting for December for? Oh, good idea. And he went overseas and he delivered them the potpourri or something. You know, they deliver all gifts all the time. And anchors fourth stimulus the finish line, recon, because now fourth stimulus recon has an interesting, fascinating, easier path to get it passed because the provisions about international taxes are no longer needed in fourth stimulus recon because they're in the international agreement, making it easier for fourth stimulus recon to be passed by those Democrats behind fourth stimulus recon. There you go. Wow. Can we top that? We can. As we go into the fifth part of this video with the shockingly great details that happened for the president on Thursday, happened for the president on Saturday, happened from Chuck and Nancy from Thursday today, and happened from Mitch McConnell about 2 hours ago. A lot of breaking details you're going to hear for the first time on this afternoon's LA broadcast. They're fascinating, and they're very important, and they're going to be made easy for you to understand as well. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which has an additional stimulus check and raise your benefits lifetime, and a special announcement you're going to hear for the first time on this channel. That's coming up. But what's more wonderful than that? The volunteers. If you need help with that rent, utilities, or internet, or SNAP, reach out to those volunteers. They're salt of the earth. They are the true embodiment of the purple power. How do you find them? Open the description of this video. Go down the description, and then you'll see the volunteers. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram separated, and you can reach out to them. That emoji, they'll see an emoji in the description of this video. That emoji of a house. Next to it, news.la.com. Click the link, and it goes to the community page. Has a picture of some kitty cats, not the volunteers. Lower on the page of the volunteers. And there they are. Now, they can help you get that rent, utilities, mortgage, internet, and SNAP. But they cannot cook you a tostada. They cannot get you entrance tickets to Mitch's Lobster Fest 2021, but they can certainly do all the rest. And after this commercial break, I'll have the big exciting news you're going to hear for the first time about fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus and what Mitch to the president said about what's happening. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Late Daily for the excitement of the new LA Late live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA Late at 9 a.m. Home LA Late returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LA with big exciting details about your fourth stimulus, fifth stimulus, and also a big surprise announcement. Boy, what a big day it is. It's Monday. How's the weather where you are? If you're just joining in the live chat, tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. In the second part of this video, we go over the shocking developing details about what the president, Mitch, Nancy, and Chuck said about fourth stimulus. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up lifetime and gives you another stimulus check. And boy, this is LA. Make sure you subscribe. At 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Hit that subscribe button right now. Also, like the video. It delivers you a pinch of salt, unless you're sodium intolerant. And consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. Let's get right into the details. And don't forget to join me on Evenings LA coming up at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time tonight, followed by Overnight's Crypto. Boy, this stimulus is getting really wonderful. This stimulus has a lot of money in there, and it starts, of course, with the most obvious money, a stimulus check. Those Democrats in the House Subcommittee represent that will be giving you a monthly stimulus. They will be giving you a fifth stimulus check. Will be monthly? We won't know just yet. But the legislation drafting will start in September. It will go to a vote in October, November. And then it will go out in January 2022. Wonderful news. Next, the president has dedicated $1 billion to Social Security Administration to ensure your benefits are paid on time. Thank goodness, no more of that third stimulus debacle where people on SSI got their checks weeks late. He's going to end that. Ramping up processes for staffing, employers, employment, and also computer systems at the administration to ensure your fourth and fifth stimulus checks go out on time and your benefits monthly go out on time as well. Which brings us to the big lift of your benefits. Wow. Jay Powell, your head of the Federal Reserve, had said this last week a series of things which is wonderful. Number one, that the Federal Reserve will provide stimulus to this economy, Fed stimulus, all the way into 2022. Amen. That now says that we need fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus all the way through the finish line. Number two, he said that the inflation rate is going to reach its highest point in December. Wow. That's what we wanted to hear. We want to hear this bill passes, inflation hits its highest point, and that the inflation rate is really high. Let's go over why this is wonderful news for you, starting right now. Under this reform of SSI and SSDI, they'll raise your benefits up one big time. They'll add an inflationary benchmark. Then they'll remove the asset limit, remove the marriage penalty, and remove the income exclusion. Let's go over how that means and what it means to you. First, they'll raise everyone's benefits up. Whose benefits? Yours. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, or Calcino benefits, they'll be raised up one time. Next, they will apply a benchmark. Now, you understand that. What's a benchmark? The benchmark will be inflation. And you understand the benchmark is applied in December, which raises your benefits up next year. And you understand that inflation is going up. So how high is it going up? Well, Wall Street, based upon the consumer price index, the producer price index, the unemployment number last Thursday, and the labor number on Friday are still basically looking at about 10%. Going from 4% now to about 10% around December when it hits that high. Well, let's go over that possible calculation. Your benefits will be raised up 10%. Not just next year, lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. So the year after that, your benefits, your inflation rate goes to 1%, then you're at +1 plus 10%. It's wonderful news. Next, they're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and have more than $3,000 in hand. Now you'll be able to have some stimulus checks and some Crayola crowns in your hand. And maybe a taco. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't stay on benefits and also work. And then finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest, Mitch. No, I'm sorry. Marry your long time. He's married. Your longtime love interest. And you'll be, you will no longer suffer fear of marriage penalty or, bad memories of what I just said. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married and no longer fear the marriage penalty. And there you go. That is fifth stimulus, that's fourth stimulus, and that's third stimulus. But how are these viewers like Nisi getting this fortune, $10,000, $12,000 from this channel? They're becoming members. Members are given daily from me a breakdown of what's in third stimulus for them to go get. Third stimulus, when it passed, I said, hey, you're going to get a $14 stimulus check, of course, but you're also going to get $5, $10, $15, $20,000. Did you get it? Well, if you didn't get it, perhaps you're not a member. The members are delivered daily from me a breakdown of all the money in third stimulus for you to apply for. And what's in fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus proposed for you as well. Consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the channel, the pinned comment, and become a Purple Hawk at least. Have that emoji next to your name of a Purple Hawk so that you too can learn about all that big money you can get. Which brings us to our third and final update of your fourth stimulus check starting right now. Let's recap. We, over a week ago, had one big recon. Your stimulus checks in there and a lot of other stuff. Well, they spun it off. They spun off the stuff that doesn't concern you into a bipartisan. In the bipartisan is roads and bridges. Roads and bridges are in the bipartisan. Your stuff is still in the fourth stimulus. It's still in the recon, checks, climate, and whatnot. And will there be any bills? Yep, there will be bills. They don't have them just yet. There'll be a recon procedural bill, a recon substantive bill, and a bipartisan bill. So in this part of the update, we're going to be going over calling the vote. This is part of really where the arguments have been surfacing between Chuck, Nancy, the president, and Mitch. Some of the things they agree upon, some of the things they don't agree upon. Some of the things I told you they were going to say, and some of the things they are surprising us. So what's going on? Mitch McConnell in 2020 was leader of the Senate. In 2021, Chuck Schumer's leader of the Senate. So as leader of the Senate, you determine what bills are voted on. In 2020, Nancy Pelosi would send stuff to Mitch and he would die because he would never call to vote. That's what you can do as leader of the Senate. You can choose not to call something to vote. But as the leader of the Senate, Chuck Schumer determines what calls for a vote, not Mitch McConnell. And Mitch McConnell doesn't particularly like that. Nancy Pelosi's head of the House, so she determines what called for a vote, not the Republicans. And the Republicans don't like that as well. But that's how the cookie crumbles. So where are we? Well, on Thursday, the president announced this two-path process. And then later in the day, he basically had an interview in which he said that the two items are linked or tandem or hand in hand or all these sort of expressions like tandem and linked. And that if anyone tried to unlink them and send the bipartisan agreement only to him and not the recon with it, he would veto the bipartisan. Now, later that day, Nancy Pelosi said, if you try to send me to the House just the bipartisan without the recon, I will throw in the garbage can. And what did Chuck say? Chuck said, well, they're hand in hand. We're going to be calling the vote together. Now, what happened on Saturday? Well, the president was under fire for using the word veto. And remember, the veto is something the president does. It's not something Nancy does. It's something that Chuck does. The president doesn't call things for a vote in the House of Senate. He's not in the House of Senate. He's the president. But he does have the opportunity to do one thing, vetoing. And so he had to walk back that comment. But when he walked back that comment, he walked forward another comment. What did he say? He said on Saturday, I made a mistake by saying veto. It doesn't make sense that I would veto something I just said I like, the bipartisan. But, I encourage Chuck to call the vote on the recon and the bipartisan at the same time. And I encourage Nancy to vote on them at the same time. And I encourage both parties to send me both of the same things at the same time to my office, to my desk for me to sign. But if the Republicans try to undo my recon, I'll try to undo your bipartisan. Oh, so there we go. He sort of walked back the veto, but then he also walked forward his real sort of thinly veiled threat that don't you dare come after my recon. Don't you darn try to come after my recon. It's sort of refreshing. You know why I want to say this for the first time on this channel? Is he's not really defending roads and bridges. It was not so much about defending roads and bridges. It never was. It was defending you and your checks and the family's checks and your checks, your stimulus checks and the CARES economy checks and the climate checks and the electric vehicle checks. It was defending your checks. It was not defending roads and bridges. They don't need to be defended. They're just roads. So that was what he said on Saturday. And so you saw me on Saturday saying Saturday and Sunday, well, this is wonderful because, obviously he's not going to veto it. He doesn't have to veto it. Why? Because Chuck Schumer is not going to call Mitch McConnell stuff for a vote. Chuck Schumer's going to call his own stuff for a vote first. He calls the vote on whatever he wants to call a vote on, Chuck. He's in control, not Mitch. And then when he feels like calling Mitch's stuff, he'll call for a vote. And then Nancy is absolutely not going to receive anything unless it's exactly what she wants to receive. And it's the wrong thing she's going to throw in the garbage. I said, we're perfectly fine in a perfect position. To which Mitch McConnell today spoke out. And you can sort of expect what he was going to say. The man who's not in control of the Senate anymore does not determine the vote, does not determine what goes first, what goes last. What did he say? The president needs to make sure that these things are unlinked. And we need to call the vote on our bipartisan first. And we need to have the bipartisan pass right away. And this recon is just welfare checks for a lot of people. Too many checks for people who don't need checks. And we need to stop giving people checks. Oh. So there's some good part in there. The good part is he finally got the message of what's in our darn forced stimulus after weeks of those naysayers. And then it's just not in there. It's just roads and bridges. Oh, now he absolutely understands what it is in there. And if you're a naysayer, then listen to Mitch McConnell trash talk your forced stimulus because he absolutely understands what's in there and he hates it. He hates it. It's so progressive. His lobsters are like clawing at him. He's just not happy with it. But the fact that he thinks that he can call the vote on something he wants first. Oh, yeah, try that, Mitch. package. Try that will work. So are you fine? Are you protected? You are protected. Fort Knox is absolutely so wonderfully protected now because Nancy and Chuck and the president have put all your wonderful stuff of force stimulus in the right place and kept it there since day one in recon, and has now moved the bipartisan stuff to the other side of the street, to the roads and the bridges, so that ultimately the only thing that's being really protected by Jalapal, by the president, by Nancy, by Chuck, by the progressives, by the Democrats, is for stimulus, your stimulus, and that they're really not protecting roads and bridges. That can go over there. You deal with the roads and bridges. For all those weeks people that wanted to say, it's not in there, it's just roads and bridges, it's just roads and bridges. Oh yeah, it's in there. It's in there. And now we have indication that the progressives are really piling on the progressiveness and progressive policies into the forced stimulus like you have never seen. Can they still get those forced stimulus checks out in the month of July? They can. Next, purple power, false narrative. False narratives. It's interesting. I don't know what could be the next false narrative, but I certainly believe that I think some people would get confused by the whole situation who don't take the time to learn what's going on, are not viewers of this channel, not subscribers, and not members. And they'll hear, Mitch is going to stop it. Yeah, he has no control to do that. So that's how you should sort of respond if you hear that. Or someone that says something like, it's not in there. Well, now you know it's clearly in there. Even Mitch is upset it's in there. And ultimately, the great news is that the identity is there. Finally, the Purple Power push. On noontime on Friday, one viewer did a wonderful thing. His name was WR. What did he do? He picked up the phone. He called up Senator Coons. Senator Coons is one of Joe Biden's closest confidants, Democrat out of Delaware, and spoke to his secretary and expressed to that secretary why he thinks America needs stimulus checks, multiple stimulus checks, made his pitch, made his arguments very professional and respectful on the telephone, and expressed his opinion. And what did that listener, the secretary, say? Senator Coons is already writing multiple stimulus checks, sir, in the fourth stimulus package. Wow. Now that is wonderful news. But you understand how Purple Power works. You should not be taking that news and holding up your donut and saying, what day are we getting our fourth stimulus check? Can you tell me what day we're getting our fourth stimulus check? I've seen sort of an upsurge of people saying, are we getting the fourth stimulus check on July 5th? Are we getting it on July 4th? What day am I getting my check? No, that's Donut Guy. We don't talk that way. For every person that spends the 10 seconds of typing that, you could have picked up the phone and called the senators. So, I don't want you to be Donut Guy. Don't want you to sit back and celebrate the news that was delivered today at WR. I want you to do the same thing. I want you to pick up the phone and call your Democratic senators and express the same thing. And if you don't have Democratic senators, then call up another senator. Express why you need a stimulus check. Remember, these legislators are legislating. They're legislating and drafting. And remember those House subcommittee members, which I mentioned earlier in this video, who write stimulus checks, wrote third, fourth, and are writing fifth as well? Well, they are working with Senate subcommittee members. That's what Chuck Schumer did with third stimulus. When third stimulus started in the House and went to the Senate, he never sent anything to the Senate subcommittee. Rather, he had his Senate subcommittee work with the House subcommittee to draft your third stimulus checks. Guess what? Even though we're starting in the Senate this time and going to the House and then to the president to vote, we're starting with those Senate subcommittee and those House subcommittee members to write stimulus checks. So every call to a senator is heard by their Senate subcommittee as well. So make that big push. Finally, a major announcement. You know, it's always now and then that you see a comment that sort of jumps off the page. You read the comment and you just sort of pause. And that happened to me last night. Last night, I was on my phone and I was watching, I think it was Evenings Crypto. I was watching Evenings Crypto and I was watching the comments and talking about coins. And there was a viewer named, I believe it was Chadwick, Chadwick. If you're watching Chadwick, or if anyone knows Chadwick, tell Chadwick to get in this chat as well. Because Chadwick's comment was the following, and you see how I'm sort of trying to deliver this delivery without breaking up. He said that, can you bring back sirloin? Because my father has stage 4 cancer, and it's the only thing that makes him laugh. And it was really overwhelming. Yeah, I was trying to keep it together. So it was really overwhelming. He said that watching Sirloin was the only thing that made his father laugh. And people have asked, what happened to Sirloin? Sirloin was great to do. Takes a little bit of time. If I don't use the videos, it's easier, faster to do Sirloin. But I gotta tell you, the viewer approval rate on Sirloin videos was the lowest of any videos on this channel because it brought out a lot of negativity from trolls. People said, I don't want to hear jokes. I just want to know where my check is. Stop telling jokes. Now, I know the rest of you wanted to hear the jokes. But what I will promise you this is that if Sirloin comes back, then you will come back stronger and push back for anyone that says, I don't want to hear jokes. I don't want to hear someone talking like a cow. I want to know where my check is. Tell them, no, sometimes you need a laugh. And so, in promise to Chadwick and his father, whose name he didn't reveal in the evening's crypto show, I will be bringing back Sirloin. And with that, make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers is a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel and stay with Evenings Lalate coming up next. Also, like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and that really helps. Make sure you subscribe because every subscriber really propels this channel. Coming up next is Evenings Lalate with a lot of breaking details. You don't want to miss that across the board. Like the video because it delivers a pinata. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino, VIP. Don't miss anything across the board. And always stay positive, always stay focused, and stay with Lalate for more.